and welcome back to my channel, Jada Creative Wanderer. My name is Jada. Alright, so it's been a pretty long time since I made a video. So I thought I should post something. I haven't been drawing or painting in a while. So I guess I'll just make a video about life here in Taiwan. So I've made a few videos about what it's like teaching in Taiwan, and I also made one about the pros and cons of living in Taiwan. But now I just want to talk about what it's like living in Taiwan during a pandemic. It is very strange. It is a strange world we live in. 2020 has been quite a year. It's very strange to me because of all the places I picked, I probably picked the best place to teach in the world, at least for this time. I almost considered China because I would have been paid more. And I also thought about Vietnam, but I went with Taiwan because they have better public transportation and they just have a great reputation of having some of the world's most friendly people, and I couldn't agree more with that. But it's just so strange. And I almost became a teacher in the US, and 2020 would have been my first year teaching, which would have been a nightmare to teach in 2020, and then in 2021 that would have been insane. So I'm glad that I made my decision. I think it was a good one. But now, like, I can't really see my family. We had wanted to maybe have a vacation somewhere. I was hoping that we could all fly out to China and have a family vacation there. Or maybe I could fly out to closer to them, something like that. It would have been nice, but of course that didn't happen. And next year my sister's actually getting married, so I need to go back for the wedding, and that's gonna be a whole ordeal because when I come back I might have to be quarantined here in Taiwan. So it's been crazy. But alright, I'll backtrack to my life plans in a second. That will be the end of the video. But let me just talk more about why Taiwan is such a good place to be right now. So I think like Taiwan and New Zealand are probably the two best countries to live in right now. And it's very strange because Taiwan's like very, very close to the source of the virus. But the thing is with Taiwan, they don't really trust what China says. And as soon as they heard about this virus, the government put precautions in like way back in January. Okay, most countries didn't do anything significant until about March. I know that's what happened in the US. It took till March for them to actually do anything. But it also helps that Taiwan has dealt with something like this on a much smaller scale with the SARS virus back in the early 2000s. So they didn't want another incident like SARS again. And to this date, it's now mid-August, and there's been like less than 10 deaths from COVID here, and every case that they've had, they've been able to quarantine and stop the spread, and they're not letting any foreigners into Taiwan unless they have a negative COVID test result, and they also have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. So pretty much the only people that are coming in are people who are coming to work and live in Taiwan. That's it. So no tourists. There's no tourists really anywhere in the world right now, which is smart. So, yeah, day-to-day life in Taiwan is pretty much the same. There's no quarantine going on here. People are still being able to work and live their lives. There have been some precautions, like big events that would involve big crowds have been canceled. Things like concerts and competitions, stuff like that. Those have been canceled, but overall, it's the same. Everyone wears masks most of the time, but it's not like legally enforced anywhere to wear masks, except for on the trains and the MRT. Those are pretty much the only places where they're really enforcing the mask. And maybe a couple of government buildings. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much up to the person's discretion whether they should wear a mask or not. I wear my mask at work, and I wear my mask when I walk into a grocery store, but for the most part, when I'm walking in the street, I'll have my mask on my ears and have it down here because I'm not really coming into close contact with anyone when I'm walking. And it's hot. But I put it on as soon as I go inside someplace. Yeah. So yeah, I'm working as normal, making good money, saving money. It's been great. And it's been really helpful because I have student loans, and because of COVID, they stopped the student loans, so no one really owes money until the 30th of September, so that's coming up. I've still been paying some loans, but it's nice that I've been able to kind of take advantage of this time where there's no interest accumulating, so that's nice. And probably next week or the week after that, I'm going to go to the bank and send money over to my U.S. bank and then pay a good chunk of my loans. Yeah, so that will be nice. Alright, so yeah, I think I've covered pretty much everything that's going on here. It's been pretty good. I'm not going to go into politics or anything like that because it's complicated and I'm not the person to talk about that. Alright, so now I just want to discuss my future plans. So I mentioned that my sister's getting married, so I will be going home for a few weeks in March. Maybe by then I won't have to do the quarantine when I get back to Taiwan, but as of right now, it looks like I will. I've talked to my boss, and she's been really understanding, and she says that we'll be able to do it. It will be fine. So yeah, I'll be able to see my family, and that'll be nice. So, but my contract ends in December, but I'm going to renew it for a second year because, I mean, there's not really many jobs in the U.S. right now, and I certainly don't want to teach in a state that's not really doing a very good job controlling the spread. Mississippi is not a good place to be right now, at least especially if you're a teacher. And I don't want to work at a U.S. public school anyways. So I'm going to stay for another year so I can keep saving money. And I think hopefully I will come back to the U.S. in December 2021. And I plan to teach online and travel. So, my plans for that: first, before I fly home in December 2021, I want to go visit my friend who lives in Rochester, New York. So I want to visit her and check out New York City and probably Niagara Falls. I'll have to rent a car because Rochester is pretty far away from New York. It's a little closer to Niagara, so it wouldn't be as far of a drive, but I still need to rent a car. And yeah, so I look forward to that. And then I'll visit my family for a while. And I plan on taking a big road trip across the U.S. I want to go out west, check out different places in Texas. Texas is such a big place. There's lots of different landscapes that most people haven't even really heard of. And because most people go out to New Mexico and Colorado, which I also want to do, but I want to make sure I check out Texas as well, and maybe a couple of the cities like Austin and San Antonio. And of course check out the Grand Canyon National Park, the Rocky Mountain National Park, which I've actually been to that one, but I want to go again because it's so gorgeous. And just travel all over the West and see where it takes me. And I think I would like to end it with going up the California coast. I'd probably stop in a couple of cities like San Francisco and LA, things like that. I'll take a bunch of detours into different cities I'm interested in. And yeah, probably end the trip in Yellowstone National Park. So this will be a very long trip, probably at least a month, I'm guessing. So it'll be a long, expensive trip, but I think it'll be worth it. And I'll probably try and camp or sleep in my car a lot of the time to save money. All right, so that's all I have planned for the next year and a half, and it's all up in the air. It all depends on what the state of the world is next year, because no one knows exactly what's going to happen. Different countries are working on vaccines. Russia has one that they say is ready, but Fauci and other experts don't think it is going to be ready. I've read an article recently. Taiwan just released news that they have a vaccine ready for human trials. So that's good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah. Guys, let me know in the comments what things are like where you are and what place you're itching to travel to when this is all over. And if you have any questions or any ideas for a future video, please let me know. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.